guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. This is the second book in the Red Rising trilogy. I've already done a review for the first book in the series, so if you haven't read that first book, go ahead and check out my review, which I will link on the screen, because I'll briefly maybe mention some spoilers from that book. I'm gonna try not to, but it might just slip in, so if you haven't started the series, go ahead and check out that review. So Golden Sun picks up, I think, a couple months after the end of Red Rising, and all of the things that have happened since the Institute. Now Darrow is in the Academy, and he's trying to learn more political war maneuvers, and something big and catastrophic happens to him, as it always tends to, and everything kind of takes off from there. So first off, let me talk about the world building. I really enjoyed the world building in the first book, but I enjoyed it even more in the second book, because you get out of the Institute, you learn even more about just the politics and stuff. This is such a politically driven action story. Like, I don't even know how to classify it, actually. Actually, recently in my Genre Benders Top 5 Wednesday, I talked about how this is the Hunger Games mashed with Game of Thrones flung into space, and that's exactly what this is. So I really liked seeing all the different families and where they live, where they're from, how their different societies kind of intermingle in the one giant society. You have like the whole obsidian stuff and how they have a religion almost based around Norse mythology in a way, that being kind of brought in, which is really interesting. So all of the stuff with the worlds and how the system works, I really liked seeing, and it was just a lot of fun. And I have a really easy time picturing these characters for some reason, probably because they all look like whatever color they're supposed to be, gold, pink, whatever. But I just have a very easy time just picturing the way that this whole society kind of works and is laid out. Next, let me talk about the characters. I continue to love our characters. I really love Darrow. Like, I just want something good to happen to him for once, but whenever he succeeds, I'm like inwardly cheering, and that doesn't really happen often with me for characters. Like, I'll really enjoy them, I'll be like, yay, but anytime that he's able to pull one over on someone or scheme or whatever and just kick ass, I'm cheering for him. I just love him. And I also really like Victra a lot, who was more of a secondary character in here, but there's something about her that's also really appealing because she just, you know, doesn't pull any punches, and a lot of the other characters are great as well. Several really grew on me, and Ragnar, I'm pretty sure, is a new character who's really great. So there's a lot of characters that I really enjoyed that we got to see more of, but I also have moments where I forget, because there's so many characters, what exactly is going on. I wish that the glossary had a little more detail on exactly who's who, because you have like Tactus and Titus and the Titans and all, like, a lot of similar names that are based kind of around, you know, like Roman names and stuff, and that can get a tad bit confusing if you don't read everything back to back and if you don't have like an impeccable memory for what exactly all these people's personality types and how they're kind of involved and everything. So that was the only thing. Also, my one qualm about this series is I continue to not really like how the female characters are treated necessarily, and not even necessarily the female characters that are existing in this book, but the female characters that aren't existing in this book. Some of my big gripes about Red Rising is that there's a female character in there who is used as a motivator for the male main character and doesn't really have any agency of her own, and that carries into this book with that character. She's still mentioned very frequently and is still very much the motivator for the main character. He brings her up very often. You find out some stuff about her that motivates him even more, and that's just really like, oh, why? And then you have the same situation with another character where this female character is being used as the motivator for him as well, and it's just like, can we not? Can we not? Like, let's just have these female characters have a little more agency. Like, a lot of the female characters that are actually taking place in the book and exist in the book, they have agency, kind of split a little bit. Like, Victor definitely does, and then one of the main characters, Mustang, does as well, but there's also times that she's used as a motivator, so it's just like, why? Like, it's gotten better since Red Rising, but it's still not as good as it could be, and I just really want it to be better in the last book. And that is one of the main reasons why this book doesn't have as high of a rating for me as it could. Next, I'm going to talk about the plot. Pierce Brown knows how to write fast-paced, engaging stories. I can't put it down. Even with a little amount of time I had to read this month, I was still able to manage to read this in fairly big chunks, because when I had the time to read it, I sat down and really read large chunks of it, because just so much is happening, and it doesn't feel too rushed. You definitely feel the passage of time with his writing, but so much is happening, so many twists and turns, things that are unpredictable, all of this stuff, and just action constantly, and he's really good at writing action scenes as well. Sometimes in action scenes, I can get kind of bogged down and lost and just like, what is going on? But I'm able to really picture everything, and this series I can really picture as a movie. It would make a great movie series. They're probably not going to do it because everyone just thinks this is a dumb dystopian, but like, it's so not. It's so not. It's so much more political than that, and it's just great. It's so great, but they're just never going to do it, so that kind of sucks. I wish they would. Please, please let me eat crow and just announce it in like a month. It would make me so happy. But yeah, this is definitely a page turner, definitely full of twists, and Pierce Brown knows how to do the cliffhangers. So if you don't want a cliffhanger, make sure you have the next book in hand, because this has a cliffhanger at the end. I'm sorry, it does. I want to warn you because I was not warned and I was not ready. So overall, I really enjoy this series. It's fun, it's fast-paced, it's political, there's a lot of really good characters, there's twists and turns and everything. The only thing I don't like about this series is the lack of agency of some of the female characters. I hope that that improves. I keep being told that it gets better with each book, so I'm hoping it definitely does, and I'm looking forward to continuing on this series, so I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. So I am going to be doing a spoilery gush on this book, so I'll leave that linked on the screen for you to check out if you've read the book. So comment down below and let me know what you thought of Golden Sun. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all you guys soon. Bye!